The end of Atlanta lingers on in people's heads. The Ambetter Health 400 race on Sunday featured 11 caution periods, including 8 for wrecks. This was hardly the same as the Daytona 500's Wreckfest that caught 35 cars in its mess. However, one thing tied both races together: NASCAR's last lap caution calls. These crucial decisions shuffled the winner's spot, attracting backlash, but Denny Hamlin is content. The Joe Gibbs Racing driver was also trapped in a heartbreaking wreck at Daytona when Cole Custer tried to squeeze past him. That allowed William Byron to clinch the victory as a huge wreck unfolded behind him. But Denny Hamlin did not bash NASCAR for its caution call supporting it, especially for the Atlanta race. Denny Hamlin admitted that retirement is on his horizon. The 44-year-old veteran driver made this admission during an interview with Fox Sports ahead of this year's Daytona 500. When asked directly if he could see the finish line in his career, Hamlin's response was clear and direct. Hamlin told Fox Sports, "I definitely can see the finish line, and I'm just not going to allow myself to be another driver out there." This statement represents a significant moment for the Joe Gibbs Racing driver, who currently races full-time in the Cup Series and co-owns 23XI Racing alongside NBA legend Michael Jordan. With 54 career wins and an impressive 358 top 10 finishes, Hamlin has established himself as one of the sport's elite drivers, despite never capturing the elusive Cup Series championship. Hamlin elaborated on his retirement perspective, saying, "There'll be a day when I wake up and I don't have the skill set that I had before. I don't know when that day is. I don't feel like it's right now. I feel as sharp as I ever have behind the wheel." The driver of the number 11 car demonstrated remarkable self-awareness about the inevitable effects of aging on his racing abilities. Hamlin stated, "I'm no dummy. I understand that father time is gonna feed you, especially in our sport, where reaction times are probably the most important thing. Since the early days of the sport, safety has been paramount. The last fatality in NASCAR was Dale Earnhardt's tragic crash at the 2001 Daytona 500. After that, officials strove to make zero compromises about driver safety. That is why caution flags are waved even on final laps, although that shuffles the winning field wildly. Throwing last-lap cautions has been the hottest topic since the dual qualifier, when NASCAR apparently stole a photo finish between Austin Cindric and Eric Jones. During the Daytona 500, officials let William Byron and others race to the finish line before throwing the caution. However, following a massive wreck at the Xfinity Series Atlanta race, NASCAR let cars speed through the accident. President Steve Phelps acknowledged that mistake and did not let it repeat in Atlanta after Josh Berry spun out officials, let the race end on a green-white checkered flag, and Christopher Bell won. Denny Hamlin appreciated NASCAR for this decision. He said,
"Let's at least applaud them on making the right call for safety, because safety should always be number one and entertainment should be number two." And so it sucks. I mean, it sucks that it ends this way, but we're the ones that chose to wreck.
Accumulating top speeds through debris can be dangerous for wrecked drivers. Denny Hamlin underlined the safety problems.
I can assure you that there's not a driver in the field that would want that race to stay green, given the scenarios that were going on. Because you keep these races green and somebody will end up getting hurt. There's just too much opportunity, and the drivers are way too vulnerable when they're sitting in the middle of the racetrack, and then cars have to go by them full speed to gain spots.
NASCAR's inconsistent calls through the weekend were questionable, so Hamlin gave his call.
Let's start a new trend of consistency starting now.
Despite the valid points that Denny Hamlin made, fans objected strongly. Along with heightened safety standards, many believe the racing product has fallen in NASCAR too. The high number of wrecks during the Daytona 500 exemplifies this problem. With the current superspeedway package, cars cannot pass each other and are gridlocked, leaving drivers with no choice but to keep fuel saving. One fan called for green flag finishes. "I think they should leave the damaged cars out there. It would make for much better racing. NASCAR is too boring now." Another NASCAR fan opposed Denny Hamlin's take, writing, "Simply, I respectfully disagree. The sentiment among many fans is that green flag finishes, despite the risky situation posed to wrecked drivers, make races exciting. Ending a race under green, no matter the number of caution flags, would eliminate controversial finishes. As one fan wrote, "I like X podcast, but I disagree. Races should be required to finish under green, no matter how many times it takes advocating for finishing races under caution. If it's the last lap, is a wussy move." Some fans pointed to financial considerations, with one asking, "We gonna just act like money isn't number one?" Other fans suggested alternative approaches. For instance, NASCAR could make more nuanced decisions if a wreck is within the racing line. Throw the yellow flag if it's at the back of the field or outside of the line. Allow drivers to keep racing. One fan summed up this middle ground position: "I understand safety, but there needs to be a better way." I'm sure most drivers and fans alike would prefer to see good, hard racing to the finish. Why not a rule that a race must end under green? So many great races are ruined with last lap wrecking. Hamlin's defense of NASCAR's decision sparked accusations of bias. One fan wrote, "Denny says this when a JGR teammate wins the race. Had it been the other way around, he would have a different view." Another pointed out Hamlin would be whistling a different tune had his teammate not won the race. A particularly pointed criticism challenged Hamlin: "Directly, Denny, then tell your sanctioning body to stop using your crashes to promote races at Daytona and Talladega while standing on their podiums preaching safety." For Hamlin, the issue lies at the heart of superspeedway racing. Itself, drivers cannot maneuver independently, resulting in pack racing. The next-gen car and revamped aero packages have worsened this issue, leaving even seasoned drivers like Hamlin at the mercy of the pack.
At super speedways. And I feel like the Daytona 500 is a microcosm of the sport in general when it comes to how we crown our champion now as well. Like, it's just and this started with the competition group a decade ago when we started cutting horsepower, because we want it to look good on TV. We want you to think that they can pass, but not that they can actually pass. And it just, for me, has gotten to the place where, in my feelings, and I know this because I've been part of the sport for over 20 years now, the entertainment of it has far overtaken the sport of it. And I don't know how we reverse things.
Beyond his views on track configurations and race management, Hamlin weighed in on the controversial driving style of Carson Hocevar. The young driver found himself in hot water after an ill-fated maneuver at Atlanta Motor Speedway that sent Ryan Blaney's number 12 car spinning. Initially, Hamlin appeared to defend Hocevar.
He understands, and he's got the same amount of experience as some of these guys. He's only been around 3 years. So I think that's why I said on this podcast last week, if I didn't win, who did I think I was going to win? Austin Cindric. And you can see that he is on another level mentally, and it's why he puts himself in position so much. There's other reasons why. They qualify well.
However, Hamlin later criticized Hocevar's inconsistent public persona. In one interview, Hocevar confidently declared, "We're here to win races, not be a boy band who love each other and play in a playground together," reflecting a tough exterior. Yet, in another interview, he adopted a more humble tone, acknowledging the need for improvement. Hamlin remarked that Hocevar's mixed messages could fuel animosity among competitors. "If you've got a bunch of guys upset with you, it just makes your job so hard."
If you got a bunch of guys upset with you, it just makes your job so hard. It really does, and it makes it hard.
Hamlin warned that such behavior could lead to retaliation.
If someone were to spin me out, right, I would just, every time they were around me or behind me, I would do everything I could to just hold them up for a while. I mean, you just don't let it go. And, I feel like I'm like most drivers. You just don't let it go. And it just, you just want to frustrate them and show your displeasure through racing them hard. And that's how we get even. It's the easiest way is just to, well, I'm just going to go, I'll spin him out next time. Well,
This echoes Kyle Rowdy Bush's post-race comment,
He's a fucking douchebag. I'm going to wreck his ass.